Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks 4G LTE. It's everywhere, all over this box, and inside, as you're about to see, is a watch that professes to be everything 4G. We're about to find out whether that's true, but first, let me tell you, this is the Bakeey A4 4G. It's coming to us from Banggood, and it's already got a decent price on it. Check the show notes. We'll see if we can get a discount even off of that. What's inside this thing? And this is interesting, because you're about to see it looks like it has non-removable bands, and it's professing IP67 waterproof. We usually don't see those coming together. You can either take the bands off and dunk it in water, or it's not waterproof because the antennas are in the bands and the water would get in where the wires are. But I digress a bit. It's an Android 7.1 watch, and we're going to explore that in really tiny print so I could get it all on the page. Here's some more of the specs. It's got a 2-megapixel camera on it. We know that, and it uses the Wear 2 tethering app like all these Android watches do. And having done a few hundred of these, there's certain things we know to look for, to check out and see if it's got them or if it hasn't got them. And we'll kind of focus on that because it's a typical Android 7 watch. I believe 7.1.1, but we're going to check that too. Anyway, nice presentation overall. The box is really cool. It's got this great big bright red holder in here. They get an A+ on presentation and a great TPU band. Come on, undo yourself. With inserts in here, and it loops through here. Wow. I mean, very, very well done. If you want to give this as a present, it definitely warrants that. The screen, you see, has an overlay on it covering it instead of just a clear plastic thing. That makes it show nice when you saw it in the box with red hands and everything. Let's take that part off and reveal the black, because it hasn't been turned on watch face, and the bezel, which is pretty interesting design. Orange down to here. We have orange buttons with, or black buttons with orange around them, the camera, and this really odd but interesting way of protecting the camera on the edge of the casing. Microphone on that side, charger, heart rate monitor, cover for the nano SD card in here, and the speaker is right there. So, inside the box, we also have a few other goodies, like the 4G LTE manual on this side, and on this side, we have a screwdriver with extra screws for putting in that SIM card, and the charger. Now let's talk about the charger. As usual, we have a 4-pin charger, but it's this new standard that seems to be starting to emerge, which is a curved kind of thing. And if I recall, you got to get it this way, and you got to come across this way and hang into it that way so that the wire loops back off. You can sort of do it this way, but it seems to be less fatigue on the wire if you run it that way. Going into a little detail on this, because we're seeing quite a few of these watches with this new curved special type of magnetic connector. We covered everything. That was all in the box. Here's the manual, the user's manual. Please check everything. This is your first boot. It's going to take a while to boot up as it gets itself all centered. You can set your languages, about charging, SIM card installation, and few little pictures, but not a whole lot. The different button functions and what they'll do, where they're located, up, down, on, off. Okay, sliding and quick access. Watch faces, how you get to them, how you slide over. The DIY watch, which is where you can create your own watch face from an image you choose and a digital overlay. We've talked about that before, and that's becoming standard on all these Android watches. Some more good stuff. Downloading the app, the Watch 2, and we've covered that extensively as well. So we won't be going into that, but we will have references in the show notes to how you can review that on a different video. Okay, that's everything 4G SIM, which we're going to talk about right now. Let's clear everything out. So 4G, what can we say about it other than this watch is hyping it everywhere? It's got it on the box. It's got it on the boot up, actually. It's all over talking about 4G. But 4G is a really nebulous little monster. And I love to love this watch. I really would. Nice loud speaker. But as far as 4G goes, where I'm located, which is in the USA, and a server that the service I use is AT&T, and it says Android 7.1. With an AT&T 4G SIM in this watch, I am not getting connectivity. Very, very frustrating. However, you may have better luck in your country, your location, and if you're urban rather than rural USA, you may have luck there too. So a shout out to all of you guys. If you get this A4 watch and you test it with a 4G SIM, can you leave a comment down below the video to tell us if you're getting 4G data or is it failing back to 3G, what carrier you're on, and is it making phone calls okay? Yeah, oh boy, all right. A new device has accessed my account. Of course, I'm always doing that. As you can tell, I've had it out of the box. I've got it already on Wi-Fi. I've fully tested the SIM in this one, actually, even driven right to the AT&T tower to try to get it to work. And I have no joy, no success on getting 4G to work. But let's walk through the watch so you can see we got our typical information, the fully charged, the date and time. You've seen that screen. And then over here, the icons where we can silence it if we want to, the different brightness levels, which there's the dimmest one, which is great for night. There's your middle of the ground, which is what we shoot the video on, and then super bright that would wash everything out. So you could actually just use those. Oftentimes I install display brightness. It's an app that lets you put a slider right on the screen. You see that in other videos. There's your twist your wrist to see the time, airplane mode, cellular data on off, location services, Bluetooth to tether with your phone, and Wi-Fi, which is on so I can connect to the network. That's all on that page. You got that cleanup thing that's on Android 7. You got the music player, and one more screen puts you into the weather, and now in the weather you're getting centigrade and Fahrenheit, and you can just press the button, and if you're on the network, it'll update for you, which it should do. Well, it would if I had it all going. Okay, that's there. When you go down, you've got your step count average over the week. No data here, because as soon as I tested it, I put it back in the box, and we've had Christmas and New Year's since then. Here's the daily information, your overall tabular data, and then, of course, what we just saw, the bar chart on it, too. So that's the upper area, the lower area. You go over here and you see your notifications, and you go to the right, you've got your app drawer. We'll come back to that. Go to the right one more time, and now you've got your fitness section. So one of the things we know that we want to find out from the fitness is if you have your location services on, that's your GPS, and you go into one of these things like an outdoor run that would rely on either step count to compute your distance, or if it interfaces with GPS, it would rely on GPS. You can test that to see if this interfaces or not. You have target duration as a thing, target distance, which is a good one, and calories burned. Because it has target distance, there's a good chance it may work with GPS. Here's how we tell. We start it up, and boom, did you see that thing that just went off? That was the GPS notice that it's going to try to acquire it. You see this flashing here? That means it's going to acquire GPS, and it's going to calculate your distance based on the GPS track as opposed to step count. All that said, it means it's a good thing. Some of these Android 7.1 watches don't have that integration with the GPS module yet. The A4 does. You cannot tell in the product literature whether it does or not. You have to test it. Sorry, long talk about that, but worth going into. You press it to stop it, you can save it or delete it, and you have all that on here as well. And of course, all this can interface to the WII Watch 2 app, which we've shown in other videos, so you can transfer your fitness data. Now, the other concept that we're seeing coming out is Bluetooth calling. In here, you got your contacts and your phone and your messaging, and when you look at the product literature, it kind of alludes to the fact that when you tether to your phone, you can bring over your contacts and they show you making phone calls. It's not a Bluetooth phone call, folks. The only way you can make a phone call from one of these Android 7 watches is with a SIM card inserted in it. Yes, you may be able to tether your phone book and your call logs from your phone to your watch and have them in here. But when you go to place a call, that call is going to be coming from the SIM card if you have one in here. How do I know this? Well, I don't have it tethered and I don't have a SIM in it, but if you do this and you try to place a call, it's going to come back and say cellular network not available. That means cellular. That means SIM card. So you're not going to get Bluetooth calling from this or any Android 7 watch. Not yet. That's 7 or 7.1 or 7.11 or even Android 6. Only Android 5 watches with a special icon that says Bluetooth calling in the app drawer will let you actually make Bluetooth calls. So don't be misled if the product literature for this and other watches makes you feel like you could do Bluetooth calling. You can't. Okay, clear on that? Good. Okay, overall settings, just a few things to show you in here. Sound is basic. Display, this is where you go in here, and if it has this thing that says always time, that's that option to turn on the display so that when it's off, you get that subtle display. When it's on, now notice it came on to it looks like exactly the same watch face. It's a custom one that I put in that Pierce Collins, our ace designer, created. Lots of stories about that. There's the ambient one, and press it, and there's a real one. And you know that's a real one because you can change it to all kinds of different ones, like that one as an example. There's the ambient one, there's the real one. And that's what you see when you go into settings, into display, where you could also change the sleep time, which I'm going to pump up a little bit so the watch doesn't time out on us. That also tells us we're running Android 7.1.1, which we'll check in a little bit. You have a couple of different round and arc app styles, and we've seen that too. That's just how they display here. Your connection, this is where you go in and you set up Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and cellular. The gesturing, which is turning your wrist to see the time, which we saw in that one icon. And you can turn on or off the pedometer services. So you're not using extra energy for that if you don't need it. Power savings is available, and it's showing you lots of neat information about what apps are using what power on here. Date and time, where you can set all that, resetting your equipment, uninstalling the different apps. More is where you get into all your account information. Google Play services, storage, the RAM inside the device, 16 gigabytes on this one. Okay, and about this watch, which is where we find out we are running the A4 Android 7.1.1. We were right. And check out the kernel version and the build number and all of that stuff. Okay, that's settings. Then you got your basic browser, downloads, calendar and clock, the camera, which when we come in here shows us, I think I already took a picture of my fingers, but let's do another one. Did we get it? Try it, another one. Okay, there, I should have a picture of my fingers. Tap the picture. Come on, you. That took us basically to the gallery. And we want to assess the picture itself. Come on, give me that display information. There we go. Details. Okay. It's a 1920 by 2560. You multiply that out, you come up with 5 megapixels, I believe. but the camera is actually 2 megapixels up interpolated to 5. If you see bigger numbers than that, then you've got the newer fancy camera that's really a 5 megapixel camera, but you multiply it, you get 8 megapixels. This is 2 megapixels, which it's said in the literature. It's your basic camera. It's not super bright. You can double tap to zoom, double tap again, zoom more, double tap takes you back, or you can stretch it like that with 2-point capabilities. That's something not all watches have. Or you can tap it and hold it and then zoom in like that. Wow, look at that. You can see, I don't know what that is, hair follicles in my palm? Oh God, that's gross. Anyway, you got a lot of capabilities with the camera, including 2-point touching, multi-touch, which may assist you if you want to play games that require more than one touch on a tiny little watch. Anything else? Not really. File Manager shows you what you've used. I've got some clock skins in here and some basic apps and whatnot. You add these two up and that's your total. You usually have about 10 or 11 gigabytes left from a 16 gigabyte watch. We've got heart rate sensor going on this thing, and when you're in this mode, and you get your heart rate and you leave it here, it stays on for a long, long time. And that's pretty cool if you want to just do a workout and you don't care about the time, but you'd like to keep an eye on your heart rate. The fact that it's going to be there for a while is nice. That's becoming standard on these as well. Okay, if I take my finger away, it stops. Really good. That means it's really reading your finger, right? Not all of them used to do that. Your Google Voice Search, your Google Play Store, overall maps. Assistant is the assist to hook you up with your phone. The YWatch 2 QR code you got to scan. And the fitness is the same fitness as we got to when we slid over here, only with nice color pictures. But they function exactly the same way. Once you go into them and activate one of them, you're getting the same screens as you would have if you would have slid all the way over here and entered it from that direction. Okay, App Store is their stock app store to download without even needing the Google Play Store, some things that social media like Facebook and Twitter and WhatsApp and so forth, YouTube as well. And then these are things that I put in here, engineering mode, MTK, and settings search and speed check to go through here and work on finding out about this watch. And overall, I'll tell you, the GPS hooks up nicely. We don't have any trouble with that. The speed check on the 4G LTE, I'm not getting it. And that's the other thing that I want to make sure you're clear about is, and we're going to continue doing research on this, a lot of stuff related to 4G for all of these watches, for all the different carriers, as far as I can take it. But right now, unfortunately, on this one, I'm not getting 4G on AT&T in a rural America. So take that with a grain of salt. There are the bands inside of the antennas, but look at the build quality on this. Usually in here, you can see places where water could get in, but it looks like they've really integrated the band right up into the case to make this thing waterproof. And I would dunk it in water for you, but if it turns out it doesn't work, I'd be dead on trying to help you guys out on that 4G. So we got some folks in China doing some breadboarding and testing, and we're working hard to get the 4G solved on this and other watches. So I'm not going to put it in water yet, but maybe down the road, we're just going to fill a bathtub and toss them all in and see which ones survive. Last thing, watch faces. Okay, I know you want to see some of those. They're basic. I won't bother to bring all of them up, just a few so you can see. We've got a great edge-to-edge screen, or as one person put it, we've got a standard screen with a nice wide bezel that comes up to the edge. It's masked. You can see that's a relatively thick watch, and the overall dimensions are standard. And you got your standard 1.39 inch screen, actual active screen. It's an AMOLED screen, so This basically the same as all the watches we've reviewed. There's the one I think they had the sticker on at the very beginning. A nice watch face. Really is nice edge to edge. You can actually see if you go down, the edge will start to cover parts of the screen. So the bezel is raised on this one. And you have the ability to put in custom watch faces as well. Plus, here's an interesting yellow one. You have the little plus sign at the very end, which links us into, wow, that was cool. Okay. Which links us into the server that feeds out a whole variety of watch faces to all Android watches, like some of these. Well, actually, these are custom ones that I've put into it. These are all my custom ones. I got tons and tons of different custom watch faces in here. And you can search around on this channel for collections of custom faces with links that you can download information on how to get the ones you want to put on your watch face. And if you want to make your own, we've even got courses on how you actually can design these for your own watch, beyond the simple techniques that they give you at the very, very end here. It's coming up somewhere. Wow, okay. Although some of those are the new ones. This is that one where you can create your own picture and move a digital time thing around on it and create your own face. And then this is the one where you hit the plus key and it's going to go off, as long as you're on Wi-Fi, to China somewhere and access the server. And notice all of these fun watch faces that look just like that ambient watch face, but with date or power level or nothing on it. You hit the download on any of these watch faces, it'll show you what it's doing, and when it's downloaded it and you come out of here, that's now your watch face. Now check this out. That's exactly the same as the ambient watch face. This was a little project run from Tim and his son Pierce Collins in England, in collaboration with Mr. Tix here, to pull together the design that would make a watch face that matches the ambient one. So if you want everything to look the same, you could. And he did a great job on it, and China picked it up and put these on their actual server. So no matter what watch you've got, you can get to it, as long as you have this plus sign, when you download the watch faces over the server. Really, really nice acknowledgement of job well done. There's a lot of Christmas ones. Now the Christmas is over, you don't need them, but a lot of Christmas ones are on that server system as well. So have fun looking at all the apps that are there. Okay, you have been watching a review of the Bakeey A4. It's a really interesting and nice smartwatch. It professes to be waterproof, IP67, meaning you could dunk it underwater, has non-removable bands. It's a full 1 gigabyte, 16 gigabyte watch. It does have the AMOLED screen on it, and because it's 711, you have the capability of having that always time display, the ambient display on it as well. It's supposed to be 4G universal. It has the listing of all of the different frequencies here. You're looking at the 4G LTE FDD bands in your country to see if it's going to work there. But unfortunately, it's not working here where I'm located, so I can't demo that for you. But we're working to try to get that fixed. Okay, if you like this watch, check it out with the link down below from Banggood, picking it up through them with our discount coupon for you. If we can get one, that really helps us at this channel get more watches to review for you like this one, and keeps us going now on all this analysis as well on the deeper features of these watches. Alrighty, we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.